Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I just wanted to come and run my mouth, and then I'm going to go inside this grocery store and get a few items. I felt like being messy before I walked in. Like I always tell y'all, the mess don't stop. You know, you could be at the grocery store, um, girl, trying to get, trying to get whatever you need to get, and the mess just falls into your lap. Um, I wanted to have a conversation because I feel like something needs to be said to Miss Thing. Okay, so this is according to the Jasmine brand. Matthew Knowles, the mother of his son Nixon, says she often cries when he asks about his father and siblings. Why doesn't this person love me? In a recent interview, business professional Alexsandra Wright, who gave birth to the music producer's son during his marriage to Tina Knowles Lawson, opened up about her son's relationship with his father. If you recall, back in 2013, Alexsandra Wright, 52, gained major notoriety after claiming and subsequently proving she was pregnant by Matthew Knowles, 71. Girl, first of all, I did not know Matthew Knowles was 71, and I did not know Tina Knowles was 69. Girl, they look amazing. Tina done had a little, she done had a little, she done had a little scalpel touch her face. But nonetheless, girl, Tina looks amazing, and Matthew looks amazing too. Oh, dirty dog. Um, At the time, the former Destiny's Child manager was still married to his now ex-wife, Tina Knowles Lawson, 69, who he shares famous daughters, Beyoncé and Solange, with. The scandal ultimately ended with Knowles divorcing, and possibly more, unfortunately, left a young boy without a loving father. Wright publicly discussed her woes with Matthew when her son Nixon was just a toddler, explaining explaining that she was forced to sue for child support after going bankrupt and had to move into a mobile home. Now, Wright says that the 13-year-old son still doesn't have any communication with his father nor his siblings, despite Beyonce recently purchasing a mega mansion just 10 miles away from where they live. As we reported back in May, the Renaissance artist 41 and her famous hubby, Jay-Z 53, just dropped $200 million on a weekend estate for their family of five. Reportedly, Wright stated about the situation, Beyonce, is a billionaire. I don't know if she'll be, I think she might be a billionaire after the Renaissance. But, girl, that ain't my money to count. And she just bought the most expensive house in California, 10 miles from where we live. But no, there has not been any contact. The pain still needs to heal. The pain. I guess she meant from Beyonce. Continuing, the entrepreneur expressed that her biggest obstacle is explaining to Nixon why his father chooses not to be around. Sharing the emotional toll his longing has had on her, she continued, "My main concern has been dealing with a child that asks, why doesn't that person love me? It's a very human story, and I sit in the bathroom and cry sometimes because I just don't know how to help him be his own person." Girl, can I say something? The first thing I want to say is this, girl. Remember Beyonce had that song called Daddy off her first album? I think she actually closed out her album with that song dedicated to her father. She said she wanted her unborn son to be just like her daddy, and she wanted her husband to be just like her daddy. Now, I don't know how the son gonna turn out to be. Hopefully not like the daddy or like the grandfather, but we know that husband of hers turned out to be just like her daddy, philandering. Penis just for the community. You got to be careful what you ask for sometimes, Beyonce. That's for everybody. I want my unborn son to be like my daddy. I want my husband to be like. Girl, you sure? Girl. JT was putting you through it just like Tina was. I mean, just like Matthew was putting Tina through it, except JT ain't had no baby, supposedly. Anyways, so listen, this is what I want to tell Miss Wright. I don't want to sound mean. And let me just say this. The babies don't do nothing. The babies are a product of y'all mamas, of the mamas and the daddies hoeing and cheating and sneaking around. Okay? I'm talking about in this situation. So look, Nixon, what's his name? Nixon, Nicky. Look, Nicky, he ain't did nothing to nobody. Miss Wright, we're going to have to call a thing a thing. And I am of the belief that you never know what these men are out here telling these women. They will tell these women that, girl, I'm separated, I'm divorced, I'm getting a divorce, and girl, the wife don't know nothing about it. She at the house with the kids. Okay? So you never know. You never know. They will lie. But oh, my spirit, my spirit is telling me that when it came down to you, Miss Alexsandra Wright, I think you thought that you hit the jackpot because you was fucking Beyonce's daddy. I think you need to just go ahead and tell your son that you was a hoe and you was hoeing. And the reason why Beyonce don't want to have nothing to do with him is unfortunately because of the situation. He is a product of a cheatation. And Beyonce don't want to have nothing to do with him, just like she don't want to have nothing to do with her father. I don't know if y'all remember this, but for a very, 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 very long time, Beyonce was not fooling with Matthew because of how she probably felt about Matthew dishonoring his family, her mother. And unfortunately for you, Miss Alex, Nikki gonna have to fall right in line. Nick Nixon ain't gonna never be in the same room with Beyonce unless he buy a ticket to her concert like everybody else had to do. He gonna have to buy one of them high ass tickets like I had to do, like everybody else gotta do if he want to be in the room with Beyonce. Other than that, he gonna get treated just like we get treated, okay? Like a stranger on the street. If he run up, he gonna get done up, okay? So don't tell little Nicky not to get no ideas, because Julius will knock him on his ass if he need to. Girl, you was a hoe. Girl, you was a hoe, and you was hoeing. And you got involved with Beyonce's and Solange's father, thinking you probably hit the jackpot. You probably thought that this man who is the manager to one of the biggest stars in the world, for whatever reason, you felt, and this is not to take away nothing from Matthew because Matthew was still trash. Because regardless of the situation, that's still your son. Beyonce don't owe Nixon nothing. She really don't. So you shouldn't even be mentioning Beyonce's name quiet as it's kept. You know why Beyonce don't want to fool with Nixon? Because Nixon is the product of an affair that you had with her father. It's very quite simple. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to put the blame and the hurt on Beyonce's shoulders, and I don't think that's fair. Y'all know I don't mind coming down here shading Beyonce. But I also know right is right and wrong is wrong. And Alexsandra Wright, you wrong for trying to put the hurt and the pain and the guilt on Beyonce instead of putting it on your own goddamn shoulders. Because you know exactly why Beyonce don't want to fool with that little boy. The same reason why she didn't fool with her daddy. You know why? You were slutting. You got pregnant. You kept the baby, which is fine. And now you in your closet crying and I talking about you don't know how to explain it to your child. You better learn a way. I mean, don't nobody want to know their mama was a hoe? But you should have thought about that before, girl. You started throwing your legs to the moon. Sleeping with Matthew Knowles. You know, I've always said too that I know some of the girls gonna get it how they live. Girl, I live in a real world. I don't know where y'all live. I live in a real world. I know some of these girls, they just straight up it's gonna be what it's gonna be, girl. And they're gonna hold their way to the top. They're gonna hold their way to the money. I think that Alexandria, girl, you was in your room, girl. You thought you hit a lick. And you probably thought that I'm gonna have this baby by Matthew Knowles. I'm gonna have some connection to Beyonce, to the Knowles family, and girl, they all paying you dust. And now you sitting over there, girl, 10 miles away from Beyonce house, girl, talking about girl, she's still going through her pain. Girl, Beyonce probably ain't even thought about you. Beyonce probably ain't even thought about you or that little boy. You ask Beyonce, talk about Beyonce might say, girl, what pain? Girl, I forgot all about them, child. I know about them people, child. That's my daddy's problem. That don't have nothing to do with me. I'm just saying, y'all. I hate to be the gay man on YouTube saying what I just said, but it's just the truth. I feel like it's the truth. Girl, you was a hoe and you got caught up. And now your son is at a certain age where he's probably starting to ask about his father and where his father is. And now and you probably told him who his father was, and now we have this thing called the internet. And so it's not hard to find out. Girl, you say my daddy is Matthew Knowles. Hold up, so my sister is Beyonce? My sister is Solange? Hold up, what's going on? Yeah, I'm sure he's probably saying all of that and asking all of that. And now you stuck over there by yourself and you don't want to tell him what it is. He's 13. He ain't stupid. And now you know it's getting closer to that age where if you trying to hide the truth, but he's going to eventually start putting 1+1 together. And he going to come out with the right number too. Meek Mill under fire for yelling free Tory. For yelling free Tory Lanez during recent performance. He been a loser. So some things are better left unsaid. At least for Meek Mill. Over the weekend, rapper Meek Mill faced backlash for giving a nod to fellow artist Tory Lanez during his Rolling Loud Portugal set. As previously reported in December 2022, y'all already know why Tory Lanez is in jail. We ain't got to go through all of that. While bringing his performance, Meek Mill, to an end, he basically did a quick performance of he has a song with Lanez from 2016 called Liddy. And then he shouted "Free Tory Lanez" one time. You know, somebody said in the comment section that they just wish that Meg had somebody on her side. And I agree, because this is the thing, right? Whenever you do hear people talk about the Meg the Stallion situation, especially those with a large platform, they either take Tory's side, or either you know, they try and they won't pick a side. The only person that I think that came out with a decent sized platform, but still not just humongous, is Bun B. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Bun B is one of those people who are always in the blogs, has this very huge, large following, right? You'll hear people come out and defend Chris Brown more than you'll hear people come out and defend Meg the Stallion. So they may think she's lying, but I just think it's sad though. I've heard Kelly Rowland, Jordan Sparks all come out and defend like a Chris Brown, but they won't say nothing when it got to do with Meg the Stallion. Girl, Bank of America fined over $100 million for doubling fees and opening accounts without customer consent. So listen to this. Here's the tea. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau ordered Bank of America to pay more than $100 million to customers and $90 million in penalties. In addition, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency also ordered BOA to pay $60 million in fines. So basically, they said in a statement, Bank of America wrongfully withheld credit card rewards, double dipped on fees, and opened accounts without consent. These practices are illegal and undermine customer trust. The CFPB will be putting an end to these practices across the banking system. BOA isn't the only financial institution that has done this before. Reports state that the charges are similar to a Wells Fargo scandal. If you recall, Wells opened millions of bank accounts without customer authorization. Honey, we're going to have to get to the point where we're going to start putting our money back in our bra. Girl. We're going to start putting our money back under our mattresses, honey, because, girl, the banks is playing. Either the banks is putting your money on hold, they taking your money, they overcharging you, girl, they putting extra fees onto your account, girl, they opening up accounts without your authorization, girl, they not giving you money that's owed to you. It's something. It's always something. Mm-mm. What we gonna do? And Bank of America gets on my last everlasting nerve. They made me so sick. I remember I went to Vegas. Oh, for New Year's Eve, I told you I went to Vegas for New Year's Eve with my sister and my brother-in-law, and we was doing a little gambling, right? And I will say I rarely use my debit card. I use my checking account, but I rarely use my debit card. Um, so I kind of know at this point when I do use it, sometimes I have to call. Sometimes I have to log online and approve the purchases. Like they'll decline the purchase, then I have to get online and say, "Did you yet?" All that stuff. So I'm in Vegas, and I had usually I'm pretty much good with. I'm not like a gambler at all. I gamble, but girl, once I say, girl, my max is $60. Girl, the max is $60. If the max is $100, girl, the max is $100, honey. She zips up her purse. Huh. She zips up her purse, and girl, she heads back to her room. Okay, we don't do all that over here. Shout out to the girls. Girl, let me shut up. Um. So I had went to the ATM. I had got like $200. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do $200 tonight. Girl, I thought I was balling, honey. And it's New Year's Eve, girl. We out, girl. We drinking, having a good time. You know what I'm saying? So I went to my little machine. I'm playing, and girl, I lost, girl. And I was like, girl, you had a couple of cocktails. I'm like, oh, girl. I was like, child, I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna play a little bit more. Girl, I said, I'm gonna get $300, girl. Girl, I was feeling good, girl. Girl, go to the ATM. Couldn't get no money. Log online. It says my account had been blocked. Girl, I couldn't like use it. I could unlock it like from my app. So I call and I'm on hold, and they told me that it was gonna be uh uh, uh it was gonna be a whole time because I guess it was a holiday weekend. I don't know, or whatever New Year's Eve was. So um I was on hold for like 20 minutes. I ended up going back up to the room waiting. And then I got somebody on the line. I thought everything was situated. I go back downstairs, go back to the ATM, try to pull the money out. Girl, blocked again. So I called them again. And I couldn't wait in line for them to get on the phone because, girl, it was people behind me. It was like two ATMs. Girl, why I called them people about 6 times? No lie. Girl, at one point, one of the guys gonna tell me on the phone, um, is there a is there a Bank of America ATM around? Bitch, if there was a Bank of America ATM around in the vicinity, you don't think I would just go to the Bank of America ATM? No. And even if it's not, what the fuck they got to do with me getting my goddamn money? He told me something about, I guess, the ATMs that are used at the casinos. They have high fraudulent something, girl. I don't know, something that don't have nothing to do with me. Girl, why I never got my money? I never got my money that night. I mean, I'm kind of happy about it now because I mean that was $300 that I had, still sitting in my account. But girl, that's not the point. The point is, girl, I couldn't even really gamble. Oh, I'm gonna tell you how I got it. I just told a lie. I just told a whole lie, girl. I was not able to use my debit card. I did get the money. See, I just told a lie, girl. I got the money because, girl, I had to transfer the money to my cash app, and then I transferred the money from my cash app to my brother-in-law, and then my brother-in-law went to an ATM and then got the money from his card. I had to do all of that to get the money because I couldn't pull it from my account. And when I tell you I'm not lying, I know I talked to at least 6, maybe even 7 representatives. I was on the phone for at least 2.5 hours. Yes. Because every time I called, I was on hold for like 15, 20 minutes. It was a mess. When I say I was livid, because my whole buzz had left. Anyway, so I was thinking about going to Chase. I don't know. My sister them told me to go to a credit union. I hear a lot of good things about credit unions, but I don't know. I might just stick with Bank of America, girl. I don't know. Anyways, let me get into this stuff, and then I'll talk to y'all later. All right. Bye, y'all.
There's a lot of things kids need in life, but few of them need to know that their mama was a hoe.